For public service, ON Radio. ON Radio. ON Worldwide.
Rhode Island Governor Gina Raimondo on Friday announced that the state's early warning testing system for the coronavirus is being expanded to include asymptomatic restaurant workers and bus drivers. Raimondo said the state has the capacity to test up to 900 people without COVID-19 symptoms per day, but the numbers thus far have not reached that level. State health officials on Friday also released the results of an antibody testing effort. The presence
Good morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question to the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email at joe@onesocketradio.com. And now let's join the Coffee Ann panel on ON 1240, WOON One Socket Radio.
And a good morning to you. It is Coffee Ann on ON Radio. Ed, I forgot to flip the light switch. Can you flip the light switch for me, please? The one closest to me.
That one.
There we go. All the light switches are on. We're ready to go.
Camera.
It is Coffee Ann on ON, AM, and FM. Thanks for joining us on this Tuesday morning. It's June 16th. As I mentioned, that was Ed Carew from the Carew Investment Group. Good morning to you, Ed.
Good morning.
Nice to have you here.
Oh, it's nice to be here.
On the phone with
way
us.
better than being on the phone.
On the phone with us, though, this morning, Linda Tebow. Good morning to you, Linda.
Good morning, Joe. Good morning, Ed.
Good morning, Linda.
Glad to hear, Linda. And we have a new sponsor on the Coffee Ann program today, AARP. So we have two gentlemen from AARP joining us on the phone this morning. We'll say hello to John Martin. Good morning, John.
Hey, good morning, everyone. It's great to be here.
I'm glad you're with us. And John DiTomaso. Am I saying that correctly, John?
Yes, you are.
Excellent. Ed, can you hear everybody?
I can hear everyone.
All right, perfect. So there are new sponsors here on Coffee Ann, so thanks for joining us this morning. And speaking of sponsors, it is time for our first segment sponsor, the Carew Investment Group. So, Ed, a first message from you, please.
Okay, thanks, Joe. Good morning, everyone. Ed Carew here of the Carew Investment Group. And you know what? It's a challenging market out there. And we at the Carew Investment Group are here to help you with the best investment opportunities to achieve your goals. And you know, we're right here in Woonsocket at 68 Cumberland Street. So call me, Ed Carew, or call Paul Carew, yeah, that's my son, at 765-8880 for a free no-obligation consultation and a review of your current holdings. That number again is 765-8880. Securities are offered through Bolton Global Capital, member FINRA and SIPC, and advisory services offered through Bolton Global Asset Management, a registered investment advisor.
All right, Ed, thank you. Linda, you know how we like to go to Ed for all the answers?
No!
Yes. Yes, we do.
Well, Ed told me something this morning, and I'm like, really? People are doing this? And it's got to do with the Hertz Corporation. You know, Hertz filed for bankruptcy about 2 weeks ago, correct?
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
but they're offering their stock, Ed.
Yeah, they're offering a new issue of stock.
Why would people buy this?
Why?
Because they're nuts.
What, the people or Hertz
Well, Hertz is probably pretty smart.
in doing this?
People who are doing it are not, buying it are not so smart.
But you said, you know, they're going to be delisted from the stock exchange.
Yeah, the New York Stock Exchange has issued a delisting order, and they've appealed it,
Okay.
which not going to win.
They won't win their appeal.
No.
Okay. But people could buy it, but it's basically worthless.
Yeah, and they're saying so right in their...
And they're telling people that.
yeah, they're saying it right in their prospectus that the company is, the new stock is more than likely worthless.
Uh-huh.
The company is in bankruptcy,
Uh-huh.
and there's a good chance you are not going to get anything back. But there's an outside chance, itsy bitsy teeny weeny,
1 to 5% chance?
no way close.
Well, that's too high.
Oh yeah, you're way over.
I'm way over. Okay.
Yeah.
That it might go up in value. Okay, Linda.
Well,
No,
why-
it can go
No
up in
buying.
value while it's trading, because it has been.
Yeah.
It's traded as high as $5 or $6 a share over the past week or two.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's like people some people are trading these bankrupt companies, like instead of going to the track or going to a casino or something. I guess the casinos are all closed. They got to do something. Let's bet on whether the sun will come up tomorrow.
This is their gambling fix.
Yeah, that's pretty much the size of it.
Okay.
And this is going to end badly.
For the people that
There's
buy
gonna
it.
There are going to be a lot of cheers.
But there shouldn't be, because they should know going in that this is a extremely risky thing that you're doing.
Yes.
It's like, let's jump off the cliff with no parachute.
Okay.
Maybe
You first.
maybe we'll survive, and maybe we won't. But please sign this waiver so your family doesn't sue us when you jump off the cliff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay, John and John, don't buy Hertz stock, okay?
That's his recommendation, not mine. I got nothing to say about that.
Sorry, we didn't hear you, John.
I heard about a summer bay cruise on a ship called the Gatsby.
Wow.
That's possible. All right. So moving.
You're collecting your dividends on your Hertz stock.
Well, we want to collect our dividends, but I don't think they're going to offer any.
Wow.
So, all right. Anyway, moving on to other things that are going on around the country and around the world. You know, sometimes you just can't listen, or you just can't think that the commissioner of baseball is telling you the right thing. I mean, 3 days ago, he said there was a 100% chance that baseball will be played this year. Yesterday, 2 days later, I don't think he backpedaled already. It took him 2 days, and he said, it doesn't look too good about that 100%, by the way.
Yeah.
In fact, it's more of 100% that they won't play.
Sounds like the Hertz Stark.
It's kind of like that. So, Linda, your husband's he's a baseball fan, right?
Well, of course.
Is he following this?
Well, he is, and I don't know if I'm a baseball fan, but I'm a Red Sox fan,
Well, there you go.
Always have been, generations. But, I was actually, he was on an interview this morning, and he's saying, no, this is a disaster for, the country and baseball, and yeah, what's up?
Well, I don't know if it's a disaster for the country.
Yeah, well, he thinks so.
It's really shooting
and for baseball, yeah.
It's a tragedy for baseball. That they're not going to play at all, and you got to wait a whole another year for it to come around. So we'll see who shows up in 2021 if anyone shows up again.
Well, yeah, especially for those those young folks that have been drafted.
They get nothing until they play.
They get nothing, and they were so excited to get going, and now
unless they get something in a signing bonus, they might get that ahead of time.
Do they? Yeah. Well, that's good.
I don't know. I've never been offered.
But I'm
one of
just
these
thinking
contracts.
of were they peaking now, and how will they be in a year? Will they be able to keep themselves up to speed,
right?
Athletically, in good shape, and all of that.
Well, they'll try. They'll try their best. So, on another subject, John Martin, how are things at AARP?
Well, these are interesting times, because we spend so much of our time out in the community and organizing events and offering programs and opportunities for people, and we've gone virtual. We have had a series of national teletown halls. We held a teletown hall of our own with Senator Reid. We're lining up some other virtual events. But I think people are rethinking a lot of things, and I think we all have to think in terms of what's the opportunity here as our lifestyle changes. What can we look toward? We have a lot of resources at AARP, and I urge people to spend some online time at aarp.org and our webpage, aarp.org/RI. Because we've got a lot of great people who've been providing information. One of the things in particular is the rise in fraud and fraud concerns around the stimulus checks, which came in the form of debit cards that confused a lot of people. People toss them. People think they're scams. Then they get phone calls that are not really from the bank that issued the debit card, trying to get personal information for them. So you really got to be on the ball. And AARP's Broad Watch Network really is protecting people during this very challenging time.
Have you seen a lot more scams going on? Not just in terms of the stimulus checks, but just in terms of anything to do with the COVID-19. That is scams that are geared towards AARP members.
I was going through this morning, and this is the one that will not go away, but it's on the rise apparently. The grandparents scheme, where you get that phone call, and it's your nephew who's in jail in Mexico and needs $500 to get out. And it's amazing that as much has been reported on this, that it still works.
It does.
But, we have a program that includes a guide. It's called the Con Artist Playbook, and it was written based on accounts from people who had been convicted. Part of their rehabilitative community service was to cooperate with authorities. So we created this book, and it really explains how they work, how they get you to an emotional point where you do not think rationally. And for someone who's convinced that that is their nephew on the line, and the great line is, you can't tell mom or dad. Oh, dad would kill me. Okay, grandpa, you got to keep this secret. The next thing you know, there they go. And we had a program with someone from one of the bank security people telling a story about a guy who fell into this, and over a series of days, $5,000 in Walmart gift cards were sent off to the person who claimed to be his nephew, who was in jail trying to make bond. And once you buy into this dilemma, you begin to believe it, and you want to do the right thing, and it makes people become very, very vulnerable.
John, has AARP reached out to stores like Stop and Shop and Walmart to let them know about these kind of scams? Because you hear about it every now and then where an older person goes into, and they're going to buy $1,000 or $2,000 worth of gift cards. And sometimes the people behind the counter at the stores say, it sounds like a scam. And it actually stops. They call the police talk to the people, and they tell them, you're being scammed, and they actually get, their money is actually saved.
I would hope that would be the case. I think sometimes it may or may not be policy in some retail establishments that have gift cards. It probably should be. Sometimes, it all happens so quickly. It's a new person. There are all kinds of reasons why these can slip through the cracks before someone notices a trend. One of the things when I'm talking to people about fraud is we have to sort of keep up on this. The way that doctors go back for certification, the way that lawyers, get to go to conferences to get the latest information, say on tax law or something like this. We have to be diligent that way, because here's the deal. Every time that you're watching the news on TV and you hear about someone whose life savings has been drained, you say, I would never fall for that, right?
Right, yeah.
You know why? Because you just had it explained to you. Of course you wouldn't fall for it. That's not how it works. It comes out of the blue, and it appeals to some instinct that you have. Sometimes it's great. The get-rich-quick scheme is usually perpetrated by creating that opportunity, and it also, one of the elements is a trusted source. Someone calls and says, I'm a regional vice president of the company, and we're letting investors get in early, and I'm making some select calls. Oh, it's somebody really important who's called me. A chance for me to cash in on this, and you start to want to believe that. You become vulnerable to that. But if we pay attention and we look for these signs, we look for these warning signs, we can be prepared. We have to think about it a lot. Of course, the story that you saw in the news, you'd never fall for that. That's because you're sitting there in a very neutral environment looking at a story of someone who was victimized and, of course, you can see it from a mile off, but that's not how the con artists work. It's fascinating to understand that. And anyone interested in the con artist playbook can search that on the internet, AARP Con Artist Playbook, and you can download it or read it online.
Okay, we have to take a first break here on the Coffee and program. So, Ed, it is time for a second message from the Carew Investment Group, please.
Okay, thanks again, Joe. Good morning again, everyone. Ed Carew here of the Carew Investment Group. Are you retired or retiring soon? Well, that's great. Congratulations. You may be retiring, but your money can't afford to retire. I'm Ed Carew of the Carew Investment Group at 68 Cumberland Street in Woonsocket. At the Carew Investment Group, we offer personal investment management of client money, especially from the proceeds of their 401k after they leave the workforce. So to find out more about what our services are and for professional management of your investments, call me, Ed Carew, or call Paul Carew at 765-8880. Securities are offered through Bolton Global Capital, member FINRA and SIPC, and advisory services offered through Bolton Global Asset Management, a registered investment advisor.
Very good there, Ed. And more of the Coffee and program is coming our way. If you have any comments or questions, give us a call, 766-1240, or email them into me at joe@onesocketradio.com. You are welcome to eat inside at Missy's Family Restaurant. They have 50% capacity, so call ahead for a reservation. 401-597-6442. 597-6442. Please remember to wear a face covering when you enter Missy's Family Restaurant. They do have a limited menu at this time, and they're open 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. for breakfast and lunch. Call for reservations today, 401-597-6442 for Missy's Family Restaurant, 801 Clinton Street, Woonsocket. Annette at Baraducci Funeral Home and Cremation Care Center reminds you that during these difficult times of COVID-19, Baraducci Funeral Home and Cremation Care Center is prepared to help you make all your arrangements online in the safety and comfort of your home. This way, Woonsocket residents stay as safe as possible. Call 401-751-5000, 401-751-5000, and they will walk you through this easy, simple process. 751-5000, or visit their website, providencecremation.com. Baraducci Funeral Home and Cremation Care Center. The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee in Pawtucket. They're a 62-year-old family business that roasts all its coffee right here in Rhode Island. Founded originally as Excellent Coffee Company, they provide great coffee to food service establishments throughout New England.
Feel the spirit on ON Radio.
Coffee and on ON Radio, 1240 AM, 99.5 FM. This is Joe Callahan here with Ed Carew. And we're joined on the phone by Linda Tebow and also by two gentlemen from AARP, John Martin and John D. Tomaso. And are we saying goodbye to you, John Martin? And we'll have John D. Tomaso staying with us, or are you going to stick around as well?
I
Silence.
think there's your answer.
All right. Linda's there.
I'm here.
I'm back. I muted during the commercial. And,
they were muted.
Yeah. I just think that, Joe, we're really excited about being on regularly on Tuesday mornings, and we really hope that we can reach out to some people. We've got some great resources that are important during these times. But I am going to turn it over to John D. Tomaso because he's doing some important work at the State House. There's some really interesting things going on in what has been a very short legislative session with a lot on the line, including some very important benefits that we've worked on for Rhode Islanders that he'll be talking about a little bit later on. But we're delighted to be on the show, and I look forward to next Tuesday when I'm back with you.
All right. Thank you very much there, Mr. Martin. And we will be talking to John D. Tomaso about the livable homes modification. John D. Tomaso was on Coffee and a couple of years ago to talk about this program. And we're going to talk about it again with him coming up in a few minutes, but because it's coming up with the State Assembly in their budget, and there might be an issue right there. But I wanted to bring in Linda because John brought up about virtual programs that AARP has. Linda, there's also some virtual programs going on at Aging Well here in Woonsocket.
Yes, and just to add to what Mr. Martin was saying, with senior services, we're aging well now, but that's something that we were, the scams on the with the elderly. We've been working with that and the Attorney General right along. You know how all politics is local. Whenever we hear of a scam, and actually we've intercepted some of them just by giving out the information about these scams and what not to do and what to do, kind of a thing. So we've been doing that for quite a while now, and glad that AARP is on board as well.
Sure thing.
But the virtual programming, we had to change the way we do things, and so we've got a couple. We're new at this game of virtual programming, but we're working on it. Right now, we have 2 or 3 programs going. Actually, we have something called mindfulness and meditation, which we brought on because of some of the isolation and stress that some of our members have been experiencing due to COVID. And that the third session will be tomorrow, actually on the 17th. Diane Westerman, who's got her master's degree in psychology, will be presenting that. And on Thursday, the 18th, we'll be doing an exercise program, both of these with Zoom. Steve Westerman, our recreational therapist, will be providing Keep Moving with Steve. And if people have not signed in already, all they need to do is call our number 766-3734 and leave email address and phone number. So those 2 programs are in place now, and we're working on another art program with Rachel Corman of Always Find the Art. She's going to be doing a step-by-step painting program whereby people need to sign in ahead of time, and we'll provide all the supplies that they need and paint with her by Zoom as well. So that's another thing that we'll have to do is, call in to 766-3734 to sign up. So, we have to change the way we do things just like everybody else. And it's a little trickier because not all seniors have the technology needed to participate. So, we're trying to work through that, and maybe, if they have smart TVs, we can get something going with the YouTube channel to put some of our programming on as well.
All right, Linda. Well, I hope it works out for you.
Yeah. So far, the 2 programs that we've been offering right along have been doing okay. The people that have the technology have been joining in. But what it is with our senior population, that's our target audience.
Yeah.
They don't all have the technology needed,
right.
and everybody say, well, give them all a laptop, and then somebody's got to go show them how to use it. So, that there lies the rub. But we're trying, to reach out. And also we have My Senior Center, which we can do like a reverse call, like a reverse 911.
Yeah.
And we can reach our members, so we're getting messages out to them through that. And, they have telephones. So, because, they've been suffering from isolation, loneliness, stress. So it's important that we try to reach out to them.
Very good.
That's what we've been doing.
Well, this was on a different subject. I found this amusing. Last week we had a story, and Dave's in the studio with us. He might have read about it. The businesses on Block Island, Ed, they're very worried because tourism is way down, and they rely on people coming over and visiting over there and staying in their hotels and buying their stuff. And so they said, please come visit us, kind of thing. Block Island Tourism said, please come over to the island. So this weekend, which was a beautiful weekend, I actually mentioned to my wife, maybe we should go to Block Island. And we kicked it around. Well, all right. Well, it's not that warm. It still could be kind of chilly on the boat. Okay. Maybe we'll wait till a little later in the summertime, and that'll be fine. But didn't thousands of people have the exact same idea I had?
Yes.
and now the Block Island. Now we have people complaining that the ferry's too crowded.
Too crowded.
And
no masks.
And no one's wearing masks.
Yeah.
and so they're complaining. I guess the people that are wearing masks are complaining to the people that are driving the boat. And there's really only one captain on the boat, and maybe 3 or 4 people on the ferry that are workers on the boat. Well, they're not the health police.
Right.
And people aren't really going to listen to them. Go away. And there wasn't enough room to be 6 feet apart from each other. So now you get another problem. Okay, we want you to come over, but not too many of you, because that would be bad. So So
Right.
which is it?
I know. It's a challenge. Well, didn't they put on another ferry too, so that they'd be less crowded?
Well, you just can't run down to the store and grab another ferry.
No, you can't. No.
I only thought there were two.
Right. I think they put an extra one on or something. Yeah.
Well, there's only there's one ferry going to the island and one ferry coming back, and there's one high-speed ferry.
The high-speed one. Yeah.
So they went and grabbed another high-speed. Where do you just get another ferry?
I don't know.
Dave, where do you get another ferry?
The state has one, and the Steamboat Authority has one.
In waiting, just so in case of an emergency?
No, they have it. The state has one, if I recall, that goes to Newport from Providence.
Okay.
And or something along those lines. I may have the facts a little bit askew, but there's a bunch of ferries going on all the time, and then there's the ferry that goes to Martha's Vineyard in Nantucket.
Mm-hmm.
So there's ferries out there. You can borrow one.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not just the Athena. The Athena is the one you see all the time.
Right.
It makes the most trips to Block Island, so it's more visible. But there's others.
Ed?
I think that was a very good question.
Thanks, Ed.
I'm going to give him a round of applause for that one. Golf claps for Ed.
John DiTomaso, have you ever been to Block Island?
Yes, I have. In fact, in the old days, I used to go with a couple of my friends, and we used to do a circle of Block Island on our bicycles, and it was always a wonderful time. And I remember we stopped at this place called the Oar, which is a famous restaurant bar. I don't know if it still exists.
Oh, it's still there.
But is it still around?
Yes, it is.
Oh, wow.
This is
and I recall they had all the different oars hanging up.
Yes, hanging up inside
on the wall. But it was a fun time, and I always enjoyed it. We used to do it once a year.
All right. My favorite story about the Oar, and I've been there a couple of times, and if you're there at the right time of day, and it's when sunset's happening, it's facing west. Okay? So when the sun is setting over the ocean, they don't shut down the bar, but they stop serving. And they say, everybody outside. They used to do this. Everybody go outside, and you're going to watch the sunset, because it's a beautiful thing. And everybody stands there for about 10 minutes, and they watch the sun go over the horizon down over the water.
Right.
And nothing happens inside the bar.
We used to do that.
And then they applaud. Then they applaud the sun, and then they come back in.
We used to do that on the ship. Some of the teachers that would sail with us on Bob Ballard's ship, the Nautilus, there would be this thing going around that there's a brilliant flash of light when the sun actually dips below the waves,
Happens in a second.
and it never happens.
Oh, does
but
it?
No, but everybody,
Just in the movies.
But everybody says it does. And it's an amazing thing, and what it is your eye, your iris, that adjusts to the brilliance of light.
Yeah.
When the last sliver of sunlight goes beneath the waves on certain times and certain wave conditions, it does so abruptly, and your eye tries immediately to amplify, adjust and amplify the light, and it just looks like it. But if you did it on a camera, it never happens.
No. Okay. But it is nice to see if you've never seen it done.
I was in charge of the cameras, so I didn't go for that stuff.
All right, we're going to take a break here in the Coffee and program. It's time for the forecast, which is being brought to you by Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Sunny skies today and a high near 78. Tonight, mostly clear, low around 48. Wednesday, sunny, high near 82. Wednesday night, partly cloudy, low 54. Thursday, mostly sunny, high near 86. Friday, mostly sunny, high near 88. And right now, outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio on the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street with sunny skies, we have 70 degrees. These are challenging times, and Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans is prepared to help. If you need mortgage assistance, contact their team 24/7 at rocketmortgage.com. From their home to yours, the team at Rocket Mortgage is with you. Join the Honey Shop for their grand opening as they expand their baked goods and specialty foods. This will include keto, Atkins, diabetic friendly, and gluten-free. Additionally, the Honey Shop will have artisan breads, sourdough, pizza strips, take and bake, and heat and eat meals. This grand opening and expansion of the baked goods will take place starting Wednesday, June 17th through Saturday, June 20th at the 6 Winthrop Street, Woonsocket location. For more information, go to the Honey Shop's Facebook page. Remember, if you love food, you'll love the Honey Shop. Riverfront Patio Dining awaits you at River Falls Restaurant. Enjoy your lunch or dinner as you overlook the Blackstone River. Here are some of the wonderful items on the menu: steak and peppers pizza, baked stuffed haddock, and choice filet mignon. Make your River Falls Restaurant reservations today by calling 401-235-9026. 235-9026 or go online to riverfallscomplex.com. You'll love the Riverfront Patio Dining at River Falls Restaurant, Market Square, Woonsocket.
Hi, I'm Greg Bell, the host of When Radio Was.
I'm Mortimer. Bill. Is that you under that blindfold?
Bill, with this thing on, I can't see who I am.
No, I imagine not. Can't you see anything at all under that blindfold?
On a clear day, I can see the blindfold.
You can?
Yeah.
When Radio Was, shows from the past for today's imaginations.
When Radio Was airs Monday through Friday right here on ON 1240 Radio at 11 a.m. and 11 p.m.
Coffee Ann on ON, AM and FM. Thanks for joining us. I'm Joe Callahan here with Dave Richards and Ed Carew and Linda Tebow. And we're also being joined by John D. Tomaso, our newest sponsor here on the Coffee Ann program, AARP. So, John, I leave it all to you right now. Time for first message from AARP.
Well, I think one of the things we want people to know out there is that the situation with nursing homes where there's no visitation right now, and the difficulty that family members have, we want them to know that we fought very hard for virtual visitation. And what virtual visitation is to have things like FaceTime and Skype, where the person in the nursing home who really hasn't seen family members now for over 3 months really would see them through FaceTime and Skype. We knew the governor was coming out with a guidance, and it was just voluntary guidance. We wanted to make it mandatory for all nursing homes. We're happy to say that through repeated requests to the governor, when she came out with her voluntary guidance last week for nursing homes, this was the one requirement, that family members, that all nursing homes would be required to have virtual visitation for their for the loved ones, to connect with the residents there. So we're very happy to say that. So we want the word to go out that if you do have a loved one in a nursing home, you can request virtual visitation.
Okay. That's and you just do that through whatever facility your loved one's at, right?
That's correct. Yep. You just request that through the facility. They will make arrangements. And it's so important to have that visual connection because it's so difficult right now for well over 3 months where, these residents haven't been able to see their family members. And it's very, very important for them to have that type of visual connection.
And not only nursing homes, but assisted living facilities as well.
Yep, they would be included too. Assisted living is also included under that category.
Now, my mother is in her 80s and in an assisted living facility right now, and what they have set up, which is better than nothing, on Tuesdays and Thursdays you can request basically an appointment to see my mother. And so I have an appointment on Thursday around 1:15 to go down and see her. I think I get to be outside my vehicle, but she's inside the building, and I'll be able to see her through a window. It's not the best situation, but
no.
it's something.
Well, you know, having a family member there, and my mother and father are both deceased, but both of them were in nursing homes for a period of time, and you know as well as I do that the main advocate for that resident in the nursing home, for that loved one, whether it's your mother or your father, is you.
Yeah.
You're the main advocate. You want to make sure that they have changes in clothing, that the hygiene, that their hygiene is going okay. And what COVID did was it really robbed the residents of having their family member that is their advocate for them, to be in there and with their eyes see what's going on. So that's another issue that's really become problematic. But again, through virtual visitation, you can look and you can see, well, is the hygiene, are they having changes of clothing? Is visitations.
The only one of the problems doing it through like a window is, a lot of the older folks have their hearing is diminished or it's going away, and so yelling through a window is really not the best thing. So we have to do it through cell phones.
Wow.
And she is able to hear that way. So
can you FaceTime? Does she have an iPhone that you could FaceTime anyways?
No, she's one of those technically challenged people.
Like me,
yes.
But I know how to FaceTime.
She doesn't. No, that would have to be set up through the facility to have them do that.
Mr. Tommaso, that's what you're saying voluntary, but especially the nursing homes and the assisted livings should have devices that they can use to FaceTime so that Joe doesn't have to yell through the window, things like that. And that's the challenge, that we face with the senior population that we serve. They don't have the technology, and even if they did, they don't know how to use it.
Right.
But, if they all had tablets or something that, like Joe, when you make your appointment, if they had a tablet there with your mother and a staff person that could help her with that, you could FaceTime.
They actually, in the place where she's at, there is a actual laptop computer set up if you want to do that. And so, but I don't know, my mother doesn't want to do FaceTime for whatever reason. So.
She doesn't, well, probably because she doesn't know how.
Probably.
But, that's what I mean. If they had a staff person that could, like usually they have those, what do they call them, activity coordinator folks. They all have those. And if they were there, they could do that and help them because, I'm sure she probably doesn't know how to use it. And
no,
that's
she
why
doesn't.
She's not comfortable with it.
Well, right.
Because of that. But if she had some assistance.
Yeah. But John's right in terms of the children need to be the advocate for your parents.
Well,
there.
Exactly that. Exactly that.
And what's happened during this time is, I'll talk to my mother on the phone and just say, well, why don't you ask them to do this for you?
But she's not going to.
And she just says, no, I don't want to rock the boat.
She's too polite. She doesn't want to rock the boat. But, and that's why Mr. Tommaso was absolutely right, because aside from the fact that they're lonely and miss you, having you there, people know that you're there to keep an eye on your loved ones, so making sure that all the care that they need is there. So
John,
I think,
go ahead.
I think the other thing, too, is state funding is also being made available for the equipment side of it. And that was the other issue. How do you bring the equipment into the nursing home? And it's my understanding that I believe they're actually getting the money from there's a fund for fines for nursing homes. So whenever there's a fine that's issued to a nursing home and it's collected, it goes into this particular fund. Those funds can be made available for it. And I think what they've done was they're taking an amount of those funds and they're going to make it available for equipment for all nursing homes so that they can actually get the equipment in so that there really is no excuse not to use this equipment.
Right. That's a great idea.
Ed, when your father was in the nursing home, did he ever make use of any of this kind of technology? Or was it just,
don't think so.
No, it's just no.
My father wasn't into technology. He always used to joke and say, I can barely tune on the radio.
Could he turn on the TV?
Yeah, there you go.
All right, there you go. Okay, that's as far as it goes, and he can work the phone. Yeah. He can make a call.
Yeah.
Okay. John, tell us, what is the Livable Homes Modification Grant Program?
Well, it's interesting because when we got the funding for that going back about 2 or 3 years ago, I was on your program and I was all excited about it, but really didn't know whether it would take off or not. Just hoping that people would utilize it. And what the program is that it obtains. It's called a Livable Home Modification Grant Program, and you can have modifications done at your home if you're considered disabled, and disabled is very liberal. In other words, even if somebody has a mobility problem, walking or a limp or anything like that, it would, you're considered disabled and you're accepted under this program. And under the program, program, you can get chairlifts, wheelchair ramps, walk-in, roll-in showers, which is very expensive. And the program pays for 50% up to $5,000. Well, it was up to $5,000. I believe it's up to $4,000 now.
Mm-hmm.
So that if the program, if the job costs $8,000, essentially you pay $8,000 for the job, and then you get $4,000 reimbursed to you through the program. Now, the first year of the program was $250,000, and there was plenty of money left over. We're now into the third year of the program. We double the amount, which is $500,000 now, and that's already been exhausted in 7 months.
Wow.
That money has all been used up by January. So our concern right now is it's become so popular, and it's going to be even more popular because of COVID, because you're having a situation now where a lot of people have taken their family members out of nursing homes or are rethinking the idea of whether to place them in nursing homes. And the problem with that is if you don't have them in a nursing home, the home that they're living in has to be equipped for them.
Sure.
So the program has become even more important. And we're very, very concerned that with all these budget cuts, they're looking at a $500 million to $800 million deficit for the upcoming year. If they don't get help from the federal government, they're going to look at serious cuts in many, many programs. So what we're asking, and I'm just going to do a shout-out right now, a very quick shout-out, that if you're interested in this program and you don't want to see cuts, then we strongly recommend that you call Speaker Nicholas Mattiello's office at 222-2466 and Senate President Dominic Ruggiero's office at 222-6655 to say, please don't cut the funds for the Livable Home Modification Grant Program, because they're even more important now.
Now, John, do you go down to the State House and lobby for this? Are you a registered lobbyist?
Yes, I'm a registered lobbyist, and I spent many, many hours on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And I have to tell you that we were on the verge of something really, really big this year at the State House. We had a package, the ARP had a package to lower the price of prescription drugs. And we had in that package, we had importation, we had transparency, we had stopping changes in formularies. We had a gag clause legislation. And all of these bills, and there was also a cap on the price of insulin. We had an overall cap, a general overall cap out of pocket. We started 6 months ago going throughout the state, having community conversations with packed houses everywhere and inviting the legislators to see right in their constituency the problems that their constituents were having with the price of drugs. Well, to make a long story short, we got tremendous support from the House and Senate leadership. We had a Senate hearing. We packed the House. We actually had to bring a bus down there. There were 25, 30 people from AARP testifying on the bill. And we had tremendous momentum. And then all of a sudden, COVID hit, and everything stopped dead. And as you know, they're really not handling bills. They're just concentrating primarily on the state budget right now.
Sure.
So we've now gone from probably the biggest drug package in the entire state, in the entire country, to now moving away from that and just trying to protect programs from budget cuts.
John, if someone wanted to sign up and get some money out of this program, out of the Livable Homes Modification Grant Program, are you still accepting people into the program?
Yes. What they would do is the program is actually run through a state agency. We work to have a state agency set this up, and it's the Governor's Commission on Disabilities. That all you have to do is Google and get right in there, right on the home page. It has the whole application process. There is a waiting list right now because the money has already been exhausted. But,
sure.
But technically what happens is as of July 1st, the money becomes available all over again. Now, you know that what's happened because of the problem with the federal government not deciding yet on the next stimulus bill. That the Speaker is now waiting until July to put the budget together.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't know whether there's going to be money from the federal government, and that's become the big issue. So everything is on a hold pattern. But the thing is, if you want to get on that waiting list, because hopefully the money will be available all over again, and the wheels will start turning in the program again. So they want to call the Governor's Commission on Disabilities, or go right on the website, and the application is available right on the homepage.
Okay, we're going to take a break here in the Coffee and Program, so we're going to get a second message from AARP. So, John, if you just want to tell us about the campaign to raise awareness for the livable homes modification, go right ahead.
Yeah, we've done so many different things to raise awareness. We have a what's called a Convio software where we have thousands of AARP members that have signed up for advocacy, and we've done the alert and have them send out requests to contact the Speaker's office and also the Senate President's office. I met with virtually met with the head of Senate Finance a couple of days ago and their Senate fiscal staff to talk to them about how important this program is. And we're doing everything we can. We're also, next week, in a lot of the newspapers, is going to be an open letter in which we're going to request everyone, that age 50 plus, to, if you're interested in the program and protecting this valuable program, to contact the Speaker and the Senate President. We'll have the phone numbers right on that open letter in all those different newspapers.
All right, very good. More of the Coffee and Program is coming your way. Comments and questions can be called in at 766-1240.
I'm here with Kara Benjamin of the Benjamin Insurance Agency. Kara, tell me about your agency.
Sure. We started our agency from scratch, which means we opened with no customers. We have grown because of all the family, friends, and locals that supported us over the years. We are proudly woman-owned and operated since 2006. We're a family business, mother and daughter team, so you get two different generations coming together to get the best of both worlds.
You're in good hands with Allstate and Kara and Celeste Benjamin of the Benjamin Insurance Agency, 125 Eddie Dowling Highway, across from Dowling Village in North Smithfield, 765-5000.
Our business is truly a referral business, and we have built it based on our premier service level and commitment to what we do. If you are looking for personalized service with people who care, that would be us.
Appreciate your customers and give them the best job possible. That's been their motto at Michaud's Auto Body since 1948. They have continually invested in the newest and best frame unibody equipment available, as well as color matching techniques. Michaud's Auto Body is a certified Class A facility where all collision repairs are 100% guaranteed. Michaud's Auto Body at 430 Privilege Street, Woonsocket, 769-1983.
Hi, Parrot Heads. This is Joe Callahan, your maitre d' in the Tiki Bar every Tuesday night from 6 to 7. 1 full hour of nothing but Jimmy Buffett music. The Tiki Bar is brought to you by attorney Bob Lauder and by the Carew Investment Group.
ON Radio, ON Worldwide.
All right, it is Coffee and on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us this morning. Joe Callahan here with Ed Carew, and we're joined on the phone by Linda Tebow and John DiTomaso from AARP. And Ed was just telling me off air that retail sales last month were very good.
Up 17.7%.
That's a lot.
It's the biggest jump ever.
Ever?
Ever.
Wow.
Well, that's good. Everybody's using their stimulus money.
Yes, they are. They're buying
That's
stuff
good.
online, and they're going back out to stores that are reopening.
Well, that's
for the most
good.
part.
And there may be a second stimulus, too. That's one of the things that are being talked about the next stimulus bill that I know the House already has it in it, and the Senate wants to include it, but there may be a second stimulus check on the way.
Would it be the same amount of money? Are they talking $1,200 per person?
They were looking at that, and they were even looking at a little bit more than that. So it's interesting, but again, there's going to be trade-offs with the Senate. So whether that still stays in the bill or not, remains to be seen at this point.
Are you hearing anything yet about a second stimulus check?
Yeah.
No, I'm asking Ed. Hang on for a minute.
Yeah, well, that's been in the news for about 3 or 4 weeks. That there may be a second stimulus check, but
nothing concrete. John, are you hearing when are they kicking around a certain date or a certain month?
Yes. What they're looking at for the next stimulus is in July.
Well, it's coming quick.
What's happened right now is that the House has come out with a $3.5 trillion stimulus bill that's now going to the Senate. The Senate has wanted to place things on pause for a while before they do another stimulus, and that's why this is going into July. One of the potential trade-offs that the Senate is talking about is immunity for businesses. So they want that into the bill. They want a $1 trillion bill. It's looking at the Senate. The president wants a $2 trillion bill. The details, still need to be worked out. And one of the big ones, of course, for Rhode Island is funds for the state budget, and that still needs to be negotiated because the previous stimulus does not allow that $1.25 billion the state of Rhode Island received. That's just for COVID expenses. It cannot be used for a loss of revenue. And you know that the loss of revenue has been tremendous in Rhode Island because of the loss in sales tax, loss in gambling revenue, and many other areas.
Okay. Well, we'll see if it comes true. I could use another $1,200.
Well,
because.
maybe with the increased retail spending, it'll, weigh it in that corner that we should get some more. We'll see.
Do you see the retail spending? Is it gonna? It probably won't hit 17% like this month.
Probably not. No.
But would it be double digits? Could be 10?
It could be. I mean, with the economy reopening,
yeah.
It's up 17%, which is the biggest ever, but from a very low number.
Because I saw that like an article. I think it was somewhere down Fairhaven, Massachusetts way. There was a long line of people that wanted to get into TJ Maxx or Marshalls down there, and reporters went out there and say, "Well, what are you looking for, or why are you here?" And people just say, "I just want to go out and buy something."
Yeah,
and not just food, not
in
something
person,
essential.
right?
We want something that we like. That's a little bit more of a give us a little flair, and give us a more, as the word's always said, back to some normalcy. I just want to be able to do this.
Yeah. Well, Saturday night, Jane and I went to Stone Forge Tavern for the first time. They were able to reopen outside. They got their courtyard, and they took up a portion of the parking area also.
Yeah.
So they probably had about 25 or 30 tables, and they were mobbed.
Were they crowded? Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't get a reservation. I called, but So I said to Jane, "Let's go anyway." We got over there, and fortunately, the GM, the manager, was there when we got there. And he said, "Hey, you got a reservation?" I said, "No, I couldn't get one." He said, "Take care of it."
No kidding.
He got us a really good table. He says, "But I need it back in an hour and a half." I said, "Okay."
We'll order something small.
Yeah. But
how was it dining outside?
Oh, it was nice. Saturday was a beautiful day.
Yeah.
It was, close to 70 degrees. I don't know if it was just above or below. And we had a nice table. Everybody, all the waiters and waitresses, the whole serving staff was, was like, "Oh, we're so glad to see you guys," and we were glad to see them too.
And they were all masked up.
Yeah, they had masks. Definitely. Yeah.
Well, it's good.
Did you get a haircut yet, Ed?
I'm not saying.
I got a haircut Saturday. I did.
I got one 3 weeks ago.
Put that on camera.
I'm due for one tomorrow. Again.
All right.
But I get the non-haircut haircuts. I don't want to look any different when I leave than when I got there.
Yeah, right. Just trim it up.
Trim the crazy stuff that's around and leave me alone.
Leave the rest of it.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Well, I finally went on Saturday myself. It was well done. You know, you wait outside. You
Oh, yeah.
put a little plastic thing around. Yeah, keep everybody in mask. It was good. It was nice.
All right, we'll ask John. John, have you gotten a haircut yet?
Yes. Well, my wife gave me a haircut.
How'd that work out?
Well, it worked out okay. Only it seemed like the sides were growing disproportionately.
You're a brave man.
So when the barber shops opened up a couple of weeks ago, I waited about a week or so, and then I went to the barber. So and you know, the funny thing is, you Zoom with people now. And you look and you say, oh, my goodness, look at how that beard, you know, some of the people are really growing like these ZZ Top beards and everything.
Now, that's what I did.
Right, yeah.
They didn't quite get to ZZ Top length, though. I tried my best.
Takes
but
a few years.
Yeah, that's right. I didn't have enough time for all of that. So we have a little controversy here in the city of Woonsocket. Let's bring up some controversy here at the end.
Oh,
yeah, we do.
Pride flag.
Yes, it's over the Pride flag. June is Pride Month, and the city council even voted 7-0. Okay, we'll have Pride Month in the month of June. So over the weekend, actually back on June 8th, they raised the Pride flag at Market Square, and it was there's the American flag, and then before they put the Pride flag up, there was the POW MIA flag, and they said, well, we can't have three, so they brought the flags down, took the POW one away, put the Pride flag on, raised it up, and over the weekend. According to the article in the Call, I guess before the weekend, a lot of military veterans were not happy that the POW flag has been taken down and replaced. So the mayor decided, okay, bring both flags down, put the American flag back up, put the POW flag back up, take the Pride flag, put it on another flagpole, but still at Market Square in Woonsocket. Mm-hmm. Not good enough.
I know.
The people that wanted the flag up in the first place were very upset. They thought their flag was going to fly for the whole month, well, at least for 20-some-odd days. And so they're not happy of where it's been placed. And I'm thinking, but it's still
flying.
It's still flying. And it's about 50 feet from where it was. Okay, maybe it's a little bigger. I'm not sure on my measurements. Is it because the flagpole it's on now is not as tall as the American flag one is? I don't know. I don't know what the real huge problem is. I'm missing out.
According to that article that was in the Call today, though, the original resolution was not that it goes there and take down the POW flag, but on the other flagpole. It was supposed to go up on the other flagpole. And
to begin with?
And according to the mayor, that she talked to the fellow that's in charge of the Pride organization.
Alex Kithis?
No, he's a council person.
Right.
No, the Pride. The Pride organization.
And what did they say?
That's where it was supposed to go, and he was supposed to be there, and all. Yeah.
So the bottom line is, it going to move back?
I don't think so.
No. Just leave it where it is for the next
I don't think so.
days.
The article, it went on to say that the plan was never that it was supposed to be take down the POW flag.
Yeah.
And put put that flag up there, but it was supposed to be on the other pole. That's what I read, and it's in black and white in the Call, but I don't know. I assume that's what the mayor is saying too, and so.
I talked to Dave a little bit about this off air, and he said, how come it's turned into this thing in this day and age where people don't want to compromise at all.
Exactly. Exactly.
Compromise has gone away. We're doing it my way,
or no way,
or we're not doing it at all.
I'm picking my marbles and go home.
That's right. That's right. I'm taking my ball and going home. And the art of compromise, I guess, is just it's not there anymore.
Right. Exactly.
Look at the look at the statues that are all being torn down.
And that's
we're just tearing. We just have to tear it down. There's just no discussion about it.
I know.
I don't like it. So it's got to go.
Yeah.
And all right, we're going to take things to an even what I think is even to a sillier level. Okay, this is over in England. You ever heard of the Beatles?
No. Who are they? Or what are they?
Linda, John, you heard of the Beatles?
Oh, once or twice, yeah.
Oh, okay, very good. They wrote a song, and it's called Penny Lane.
Yeah.
Pretty popular. I think everybody's heard it. Okay.
Right.
There's an actual Penny Lane in England.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
They're thinking of renaming the street
Why?
because Penny is, they think, and they got to look into this, is named after a person, and I got it around here somewhere, but I think the name is James Penny.
Yeah.
Well, James Penny made his money off the slave trade.
Oh my gosh.
So we got to change the name of the street.
Yeah, well, that's like Faneuil Hall.
That's like, it is exactly like Faneuil Hall.
I get. Everybody, I think, can agree that slavery was not a good thing. It was a bad thing, but it happened.
That's right.
It happened, and it's part of our history. And sometimes, there was I guess there's an Abraham Lincoln statue where he's giving his hand to, abolish slavery, and they thought that wasn't a good thing. That because he was kneeling, the person.
Well, that's actually in Boston.
Yeah.
But I think it's here. Here's a hand. Let me help you up.
I don't know. I don't know if he's actually doing that. It looks more like okay, the slaves have been freed, and the man is so joyful he has dropped to his knees to thank him.
Well,
but they don't like that either.
Well, but you know what? I mean, it's yeah. Then we better take down every statue in the whole wide world. And George, how about shall we Mount Rushmore? Should we get George off that?
There's already, I think there's already and Jefferson. He's on. There too.
They were slave
owners.
Slave owners.
Yeah.
I think we ought to start ripping pages out of history books too.
And I think, but yeah, how sad is that?
We'll just start rewriting it.
How sad is that? And it'll repeat itself. Thank you, just the same.
Yes, it will. All right. Well, on that fine note, we got to come to the end of the program. So we thank you very much for listening in. John D. Tommaso from the AARP, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, and we thank John Martin from AARP for joining us today as well. Dave Richards, thanks for being here. He was here earlier, making sure everything ran okay. Linda Tebow, thanks for coming in and being on the phone.
My pleasure as always.
All right, Ned Crew, thanks for coming in.
Always a pleasure.
All right, thank you very much for listening. I'm Joe Callahan, and we will talk to you this afternoon here on ON, AM, and FM.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON, Woonsocket Radio, ON, AM, and FM. And now, the news.
Massachusetts state officials are reporting another 23 deaths from coronavirus in Massachusetts. Death toll from the virus remains over 7,600 in the state since the pandemic began. The number of people who have tested positive for coronavirus in the state is over 105,000, with 87 new cases confirmed yesterday. Governor Charlie Baker says all of the key metrics linked to the reopening of the state are continuing to trend downward. Harvard University is not going to require applicants for admission to 2021's classes to take standardized tests. The decision was announced by Harvard yesterday and is temporary. The move comes as students deal with issues created by the coronavirus pandemic, some of which, of course, couldn't take the tests. The decision was also made amid criticism that the standardized tests are unfair to residents of color.
NBC News Radio, I'm Michael Kastner. President Trump will sign an executive order on police reforms today. Trump says he'll offer solutions in a comprehensive order that is about justice and safety. The event is scheduled for noon Eastern Time in the White House Rose Garden. Federal authorities are joining the investigation into the hanging deaths of two black men in the high desert north of Los Angeles. A 24-year-old man was found hanging from a tree in Palmdale last week, just days after a 38-year-old man was found hanging from a tree in Victorville, an hour to the east. The deaths were ruled suicides, but the men's families suspect foul play. A 911 dispatcher who watched George Floyd's arrest as it happened 3 weeks ago in Minneapolis tried to get a police supervisor to respond to the scene. That's according to a recording of a phone conversation between the dispatcher and a supervisor.
320 over at Cup Foods.
Okay.
I don't know if they had used